welcome to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him at GodsFiveMinutes@gmail.com. Now, here's Ed Wilson with God's 5 Minutes.
Hello, friends. Mark concludes his gospel with this final description of Jesus' ministry. Mark 16:19. So then after the Lord had spoken unto them, he was received up into heaven and sat on the right hand of God. These words, so brief, so matter-of-fact, yet display all the vastness of eternity, the future hope of our souls, the consequences of wrong behavior, and the divinity of this God-man who shared our world for 33 and a half years and has fulfilled his pledge to go and prepare a place for us, that where he is, there we may be also. The Lord has told us that in his ascension, he was only re-entering the glory which he had with the Father before the world was. This simple sentence in Mark strongly confirms that is just what his followers were convinced beyond question he did. If we contrast that with the other two examples of those who had a similar transition, Enoch and Elijah, we find Enoch was taken up into a state and region completely new to him, while Elijah ascended with a fiery chariot into the heavens. Jesus did neither of these. He just slowly rose, apparently under his own power, with arms outstretched in the act of concluding his earthly ministry with a blessing, and went back to his calm home. But there was something new and different about him when he got there, for he took his manhood with him. He had come to us as the eternal Word, the everlasting Son of the Father. But by his own word spoken before the council, he told us, Ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power. Christ, then, today has a physical body. It is not the body of his humiliation, but the body of his glory. Wherever may be the place where he is now, his ascension was a carrying up to the very throne of God the entire human package, body, soul, and spirit. And where is that? Well, there's no profit in trying to guess. What the Bible tells us is that it is far above all heavens, or as the book of Hebrews properly translated reveals, he is passed through the heavens, as if all this visible universe is torn in two, that he might go beyond it to something yet higher and beyond the limits which can be reached by evolving or decay. He truly is, as Paul saw, our forerunner. Where he is, there must always be a pathway by which we can reach him. So let us linger a few moments with his disciples, looking into the sky as the clouds received him from their sight. As Christians, our faith follows him, still our brother, still in a human body, and wonder with the psalmist, what is man? Mark's simple verse answers this, that people, poor, weak, sinful people, short on understanding and long on faults and failures, are capable of being lifted to the purest and most intimate participation in everything in heaven. What Jesus' body is, the bodies of those who love and serve him must surely become, so that we too may pass into the light and walk in the full blaze of divine glory. The verse also tells us what Jesus is doing in his celestial home. He is seated at the right hand of God. The fact of being seated indicates that he is at rest. The childhood, the ministry, the conflicts with Herods and Pilates and Pharisees are all concluded. The sufferings have been endured, the victory won. But when spoken of Christ, the meaning of the term rest is the same as the Genesis description of God resting on the seventh day. It is not the rest of weariness. No shadow of physical exhaustion can possibly affect that power that is limitless. God did not rest because something in him needed repose after the physical labor of creation. He rested because the work was complete and perfect. Nothing else needed to be created. Likewise, Christ is seated because the work he came to do is perfectly done. Heaven then has nothing more to offer earth. When he cried, "It is finished," he made everything possible for our salvation.
You have been listening to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him by email at GodsFiveMinutes@gmail.com. Tune in next time to hear more encouraging thoughts from God's Word on God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson.